Hello, my name is Michael Nunneley, and this is an Omen report from Omen Comics. Um, Lots of stuff was planned for this year. A lot of that stuff is kind of up in the air now. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and I want to talk a little bit about some of the decisions that me and Steve have been making in the background about how we're gonna write this out and how, uh, how long we're gonna take and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, like I said, an Omen report. First, one of the problems, in my opinion, with the at least with my writing in the first in the first couple issues of Omen specifically, I was trying. I had originally set it up to be a 7 issue story for each title, and that was it. I had put a limit on it, and so what I didn't realize is that I had a lot more story to tell than 7 issues could squeeze in. And Steve was having that problem with some of his titles too. So what I did was we decided to extend it as much as is needed to tell the story, but we're shooting for more like around 10 issues per title right now, and this is before we get to the major event of the first phase, the Tetrad Omega event. Um, so extending the issues is has really did a lot of stuff that changed a lot of things so that we can do a lot more with the storytelling now. I think the comics are going to get all kinds of better. Um, however, uh, because there isn't that constraint now on how many issues that we're using to tell the story, uh, there's going to be a little bit of change in how the writing is done, especially on my part. I now don't have to cram a novel's worth of stuff in a couple of chapters, so that's really going to help me a lot, and I think you're gonna see that particularly when you read Omen number 3. The writing style is completely changing from how I was doing it before. Um, we're going to get a kind of recap on the first 2 issues at the beginning, but what we're going to do is we're going to make sense of it all. In that, what I want to do is have the kind of confused perception created in the first 2 issues, based upon how Frank slowly piecing together memories and trying to deal with that and what's going on in the present and all of that. And it came across, in my opinion, rather confused. And what I want to do in this 3rd issue is to uh, it's it's basically I'm taking all the stuff we saw in the first 2 issues and I'm elaborating on it, and I'm kind of explaining it, as opposed to I'm not sure just showing it in the art in the first couple of issues had the same effect that I wanted it to. Um, it required some explanation, and some of the gaps need to get filled in. I just want to make sure everybody's caught up while we're getting into this fight with Madman, because that's really going to set off a large series of events for the character. And anyway, we're going to get some exciting tidbits in Omen number 3. Like, as you all know, the Omen verse is designed out of an amalgamation of all mythologies. That's the kind of universe foundation that we're going with here. And I don't know if you can imagine this or how much you know about mythology, but for those of you that do, you know that in 99% of all mythologies, they speak as if they are the ones that are the creator gods, and they are the only gods, and the other ones are false gods, or something along those lines. And so trying to amalgamate them all into a single universe was very difficult. But you're going to get a taste of how I did that. I'm going to show you about the beginning and how that ties into the war in heaven, and how that even ties into the creation of the Omen armor. So I'm really excited to get into that, but it's not all going to be background stuff. I'm also going to get into his fight with Madman. There's a lot to learn there too. Madman's going to be a great character. I think you guys are really going to like him. But now we get to the rather sad part of the whole thing, and that is this coronavirus. Basically, it has made it so that I don't know whether or not my plans are going to work or not. I'm planning on, I had set myself up with going to a convention in Reno, another one in Pleasanton, California, and another one in Merced, California, coming up this year. And I was really counting on the sales of those from those conventions in order to help me make the next comic, and get everything paid off so that we can start moving forward. And now I don't even know if those conventions are going to happen, and if they do, if anybody's going to show up because of this thing, or I'm not sure what's going on with that. However, I'm still not going to give up. Putting out anything new is going to be difficult for a while, other than the posters we're creating for the patrons each month. But basically, right now we're writing and we're editing scripts. We're doing everything but actually, handing them off to the artist and letterer to get done. Because that's about what I can afford right now until the convention things happen. Those are in June, July, and in September. So, cross your fingers that something happens with this soon, so that we can get those done. I'd really like to make more. Me and Steve are doing a lot of writing. We've got the next 4 or 5 comics that are going to come out already written. And my current plan is to continue. I'm going to actually write out all of the however many it's going to be, probably somewhere around 50 or 60 comics, and the main Tetrad Omega event, and that's phase 1. And I'm going to actually write out all of those comics and make sure that I have that story told in its completeness. But right now, that's about the only goal I can set at this moment, without knowing what's going to go on with this virus. Until we find out whether or not I can get to those conventions, whether or not I'll be able to get to conventions even next year, or what's going on, it's all kind of up in the air. So, sad as that is, Omenauts, that's the best I can do for you at this particular moment. But like I said, we are still writing, we are still creating, and our plan is to, at the very least, finish phase 1. We have plans for phase 2 and stuff, but like I said, with everything up in the air, I don't know if that's going to work or not at this particular moment. So anyway, cross your fingers. If you pray, that would be great. And keep reading comics, man. That's the important thing. I appreciate all you guys' support. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. You guys have a good one.